Hello everyone and welcome to pretty much my second PVZ Replanted one-take video. It's not my normal style of content and maybe it'll be the last one I do of this, but I just really want to get my thoughts out because a new gameplay demo came out and there's some things on my mind. Like 3 big ones that I'm at least thinking about, so let's just get right into it. The big one, the first big thing that honestly really impressed me. Cloudy day. They could have completely not really cared about this and just, I don't know, half the sun. But the fact that sometimes the dropped sun is less, that's something that's notable. For me though, it's really the rolling in of the clouds. The great animations here for one are amazing. I love that. And I love the sunflower sleeping animation. It's great, honestly. And the gimmick of there's no sun for a while, but then everything costs half as much. That's well done. I like that a lot, actually. And I'm very happy with how it's turned out. One other thing I'll note here, relating to Cloudy Day, is if you look here, it's a little thing, and most likely not important, but normally the 5th minigame in a world, right? Or the 5th level in a world is a minigame. They don't seem to be doing this, so I'm curious how this is gonna look. If it's just gonna be 4 random day levels, then 3 pool, then 3 random roof. Or if they're actually going to do anything interesting. Like, is the last level in the world gonna be a conveyor belt level? When, you know, the whole cloudy aspect only affects sun. That's actually probably a reason why they haven't done a minigame, or even thought of it. I'm not sure what that's gonna look like, if they're gonna have any interesting stuff like that in this honorary world. But if not, it's just some interesting levels, you know, with the cloud gimmick. That's fine too. Either way, honestly really happy about this. This is one of the big things that I was very happy about hearing. To contrast that, I was much more disappointed with the Rest in Peace, which they barely even touched up on. So let me just play this clip here.
There's another mode called Rest in Peace mode. Rest in Peace mode is a permadeath mode. Once you complete the game, you get to go back and play the adventure campaign. Lots of different levels. However, there's some wrinkles. Dave is picking half of your plants for each level, so there's some difficulty built in with that. And then if you are unable to complete a level, then you have to go all the way back to the beginning. So there's a lot of replayability in that. It's super challenging for sure. I think a thing that hardcore PVZ players, you know, will really like.
Just another challenge to.
Yeah, exactly.
My thought on that is that we could have so much more than that. Like, looking at what they're saying, Crazy Dave supplies half your plants. That's what Adventure 2 already was. So that does not sell me at all. And then, yeah, all it is just if you die, you go back to the beginning, which is a half-decent challenge, but it's not really, is the thing. It doesn't increase the challenge at all. It just means if you lose, you start over. And so what? Like, that doesn't... I just don't think that's very interesting. What I would much rather have liked to see is this Rest in Peace mode can, like, give you toggleable options, maybe, on how to make things more difficult. You could increase the health of zombies, actually activate Cloudy Day mode, make it so there's less sun. Or, you know, I would love if they made it like PVZ 2's Endless, and just give you random plants every so often, you know? That would be a really interesting way to... Like, I want options of just how you can make it more difficult, rather than just package Adventure 2, throw in if you die, you get sent back to the start, and that's it. Like, that's not interesting. Maybe in a more difficult game, that's interesting, but that's, like, the one thing that's disappointing me. I was already kind of on board with PVZ Replanted. I'm still gonna love this game. And really, with Cloudy Day, I'm only more excited. But I gotta admit, Rest in Peace was, like, one thing that I thought could be really cool if they did it right. And it just seems to me like they're doing the bare minimum with that. It's kind of a disappointment. Considering, again, I would love if they just gave you options on how to choose how to increase the difficulty of the game. Again, making zombies tougher, the random plants you get make you have less seed slots, but actually be able to turn it back, which, side note, and I'm guessing it's not important, I will note that all of these clips, they're with 6 seed slots. I'm not exactly sure why that is, if they just haven't coded it in yet, most likely, but I don't know, maybe that's just how it is now. They're bringing it like the PVZ 2 style. Though, judging by this, I highly doubt that's the norm, just because there's 4 and 4 here, which is more than 6. I don't really know, just thought I'd mention that. And finally, the other big thing that I would like to note is, the Limbo page minigames. I was satisfied to see the, Sunny Day. That was a good thing for me. I was extremely surprised that the bonus levels were Limbo page. I suspected it. I brought it up in the first video, but honestly, seeing it here is a huge surprise. And it's like, in the exact order that it is on the Limbo page. Like, if you look here, it's like Art Challenge, Sunny Day, Unsodded, Big Time. And then you go Art Challenge, Sunny Day, Unsodded, Big Time. And it just goes on and on, with the only exception on the list being honestly one that almost interests me. And after Ice Level, instead of Zen Garden, is High Gravity. So clearly they're at least actually putting some effort into this, because if Zen Garden was there, I might have a few questions. You see up to Can You Dig It? Like, the furthest they get is like a glimpse at Can You Dig It. The big thing that I'm interested about, though, not even acknowledging the fact that, like, some of these are actually really fun. A lot of these I think are mediocre. Can You Dig It? Some of the art challenges. Unsodded and High Gravity are great, though, and I even like some stuff like Grave Danger. What in the world are they going to do with Ice Level? Like, what is the plan here? Because, okay, let me pull up Ice Level real quick here. For those who don't know, this is what Ice Level looks like. You click on it. There is nothing here. No zombies will ever spawn. Initially, this was apparently an April Fool's prank. And the level is nothing. You get no sun. There are no sunflowers. So, literally, and there's no music, obviously. This isn't, I'm not editing anything here. It's just, there's no music. Honestly, except there's, like, one little sound effect. Like, yeah, there you go. That is it. That is the entirety of the level. You play a walnut. There's a sound effect, there's nothing here. What are they gonna do with this? Like, what is the plan looking forward? How do you implement this? How are they going to make this into an actual level? Because now, if you look at it, I think it's pretty clear they haven't thought of it themselves. I mean, this is like the only one, except maybe the art challenges, I guess, where it's clear that they have not gotten proper ideas for this. They don't know what they're doing because they have this thing up here. So what in the world do they do? I mean, there's a few options. Maybe it's just not even gonna be in the game. Maybe this is just here as a demo and it's not, they're gonna remove it because of lack of time or something. Maybe it's going to still be the unplayable mess it was before. It's just a square. Maybe it'll actually become a proper fully fledged level, which I think would be insane. But you also have to acknowledge that while the cloud stuff is fun, they haven't done too much. So adding an entirely new minigame might be asking for a little much. Who knows, really? I don't even know what they're gonna do, because Ice Level's almost a meme to me, right? This was completely unexpected. Anything else that I'm thinking here? High Gravity, I'm wondering if they'll fix a handful of the bugs in that one. And otherwise, there's just a few little things on my mind. Those are the big ones. There's one tiny little thing that is almost certainly just because it hasn't been added yet. And by the way, I'm not going to talk about the China. I'm just assuming that's a placeholder, but I will also note that these have been shuffled around in a weird way. That's gonna be weird to get used to. But even that also might just be fixed on release, so none of that's a big concern. This is also probably that. Props to anybody who can point out what I'm seeing here. There is one little oddball in this group, and it's this. Let me compare it to, it's the Bejeweled. Ignore the terrible quality on this, but it's pretty clear to see that normally Bejeweled is a gem, and here it is a grave. It almost makes me wonder if they're planning on reworking it, but more realistically, it's just they're, actually workshopping it. But who knows, maybe they're actually adding Base Breaker, because, you look at this is pretty clearly like one of the placeholders stuff that's used the most. But, who knows? It's probably just, placeholder. And otherwise, one little thing I'd like to note, they did not go over the versus mode in this. And the versus mode, again, the thing I'm most excited for. What they did do is they did some co-op stuff, which notably you can have separate consoles on. And the big thing I'm still hoping is, Steam Remote Play on PC will stop the issue of there being no local stuff. Because, okay, here's my deal with the online. With co-op, it would be nice. How would online versus look? One little thing would be you could have a room code to join somebody online. But actual, online matchmaking of, say, PVZ versus. That's the big thing I'm thinking of, right? Online PVZ versus, there are two big issues with that for me. The first is hacking. Hacking is very, very easy to do, at least with this version of the game. I'm not sure if stuff like PVZ Toolkit will be as easily accessible with this new version of the game. But people are going to do it, and it would be very difficult to win against somebody that's, say, spamming Gargantuars, Giga Gargantuars in every lane. The second thing, though, is that the meta of PVZ Versus is just way too unbalanced to do online, namely Doomshroom. If you get Doomshroom to cost, 300 Sun, I would be on the train of, yes, why is it not? Why in the world do we not have online versus or co-op? But Doomshroom is so broken that if you actually had, regular online matchmaking, it would just be a nightmare. Not to mention, that I just don't find it likely they'd go to all that trouble to implement an online feature in a game that was never really about that. I just think it's very low on their priority list, but again, I wouldn't even want to do online with people when everybody would just jump for plants, use the most boring strategy of Doomshroom, Puffshroom, probably Cabbage Pole, Squash, just the most boring stuff. Maybe they'll rework versus mode in general, but if they don't, I don't even think that online would be that great. The only reason that I love versus is because usually when I play, I ban Doomshroom. Overall, though, I'm very excited for this. I was always of the mind of, this is gonna be great, I'm gonna have so much fun with this. And really, this trailer only made that more clear with just the general looks of what it is, and especially Cloudy Day. Cloudy Day definitely sold me. Just this visual effect right here, this alone, really sold me that this is gonna be great. But generally, I wish they do more with Rest in Peace. I'm very, very curious as to what the heck is going to happen with Ice Level. And otherwise, I'm just pretty excited for this. And that's about it for me this time around. I'll see ya.